I wanted to share with you all how I have been getting through the last couple of years. We've had lots of stressful things happen. There's a lot happening in the collective. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety. And one of the things that helped me was something I'd heard from someone at a workshop a long time ago. And I can't even remember what the workshop was about. But what stuck out for me was living your life as though you're living for the next 7 generations, the next 8 generations, effectively 300 years into the future. Because what I recognize and what gives me solace is knowing that the life I have today is a direct result of the dreams my ancestors had 7, 8 generations before I was here in this particular incarnation, this lifetime. The fact that as someone who was Black, a woman, um, grew up working class, all the opportunities that I've had, um, I identify as queer. Um, I date men, I've dated women. Gender doesn't really matter to me when I'm in a romantic relationship, is effectively how I think about it, but I don't really like to put a label on it anymore. But the fact that I've been able to do that, that I've had the freedom to do that, that I've been able to work as someone who was out in certain companies, certain places, the fact that as a Black woman, I have a job, that I have a bank account, even, or a credit card in my name, things that wasn't even possible 50 years ago sometimes. I think about all of that, these things that I take for granted. It humbles me when I remember that there were people who fought and died for me to have the rights that I have now, my ability to vote. And that, 7 generations ago, my ancestors were slaves in this country. They couldn't imagine the freedoms that I have today. But some of them, kept that dream alive in their heart, in their soul, and that got passed down to the next generation who was able to bring that dream closer to being a reality. And then over time, things do change. And I decided that the only way I could sleep at night, that I could get through the day, was if I was to start making choices from the space of what if none of it comes true for another 300 years? What do I want to leave for the generation after me? Even if I don't have biological children, my nieces, my nephews, and their kids, my cousins and their kids. What can I do today in my life to make their lives better 7 generations from now? How can I show up? Who do I want to be? What is the world I want to seed, at least, even if it never goes, becomes even though it never comes alive in my lifetime? What seed do I want to plant that can harvest 7 generations from now? So that gives me tremendous solace. It takes a lot of the pressure off too, because then I don't have to have everything figured out and I don't have to solve it in my lifetime. I can allow it to just unfold at the divine, right, perfect time. And I can do what I can in my day to day. What are the things I can do? What are the 1 to 3 areas I can focus on? And for me, I decided it would be this: helping other solopreneurs, other activists, visionaries, mavericks, artists who do want to make the world a better place and who maybe have part of the solution to some of the very big problems we are facing. What I'm really great at, I know how to calm people down. People have always come to me when they were stressed out, freaked out. And I officially learned how to do it over the last few years with some of the different certifications I've done, some of the healing work I've done. But innately, I am an excellent listener. And my energy, my presence calms people down, it grounds them. And I decided that I would find a career where I could do that for people. Because if I can help someone stop freaking out, they can begin to think clearly. And then when they're thinking clearly, they can begin to come up with solutions. They can begin to live from their gifts and their talents. And astrology has helped me do that for myself, and it helps me do it with others. And that's why I share it now. And I was recently talking to a couple of people who are in my paid membership on the Skool platform. Feel free to join us. I'll have the link below. But this conversation came up. And I thought this would be really good to share on my channel because there's so much anxiety, there's so much fear, there's so much unknown. And the astrology for the next couple of years is probably just going to intensify that for a lot of people, just because we have the outer planets changing signs, going into Aries. So something new and big is beginning. People feel it coming, but they don't know what it is. And we don't have to know. But what we can do is figure out a way to be comfortable in that unknown and how to figure out how we want to show up. How do we want to be? And what is the world that we eventually want to see come to pass? And I'm going to invite you to take the pressure off, to do your work from that space of it may not come to full reality in my lifetime, but I'm going to do what I can to keep advancing it forward. I'm going to take the little steps every day, every week, every year. And eventually, if enough people do that, if enough people can calm down so they can live from their zone of genius, live their gifts and skills and talents, solutions will arise out of that. So I wanted to offer that. I wanted to give that to you as a comfort and as a strategy. Because no matter what is happening in the world, you can give yourself permission to calm down and think clearly, to calm down and feel. Feel what is spirit guiding you towards. What is the whisper from your ancestors, your spirit guides, the divine? What are they offering to you to do right now in the moment? Because from there, that's where you get your power back. That's where you get your agency. And that's where I've been able to keep my agency, my power, because no matter what is happening in the world, who's in the government, I consciously choose to thrive every single day because that's my power. That's how I keep my power. That's how I keep my center. And I have empathy for all the suffering, all the horrible things that are happening, what people are losing. I get that. I see that. And I feel it. It breaks my heart. And if I let that cripple me, I won't be able to be any good. I won't be able to do anything that begins to solve any of those problems. And so, why am I going to give away my ability to act, my agency, my ability to be of service, my ability to help one person? Because if one person helps another person, that person helps another person, and then it has this huge ripple effect. So, I just wanted to offer that to you and to tell you it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. So when you need to, be angry, and express that in a healthy manner when you're grieving, when you're sad, when you're overwhelmed by all of these things happening in the collective, give yourself permission to feel it in a way where you have safety and support. That way you can come out of it. That way you can find a way to move through it. And then begin to ask yourself, what can I do today? How can I help and move these things forward? What is my piece of the puzzle to solve? And then just focus on that because you cannot do it all. You cannot do everything. No one can. This is why we need each other. So stay in your center, bring yourself back to calm, and think about what you want generations 300 years from now to say about you. What are the gifts you want to bring to them? What kind of freedom are you seeding right now for that generation? These people that are not alive now, but will be 300 years from now. What do you want them to say about you? What do you want them to be thankful for that you created in your life? Like I'm grateful to my ancestors who created the space for me to be free, to show up fully as I am. And I want the generations that live 300 years from now for me to be able to be grateful to me that I did my part to keep that alive, that I created more space, that I created space for spiritual entrepreneurship. I want that to be an everyday thing 300 years from now. I don't want that to seem weird or radical like it is now in our culture. So that's part of the seed that I am planting. So ask yourself, what seed are you planting? And I hope that's helpful. I hope that calms you down. Again, I'll have the link to my Skool membership. Would love for you to join us. And I'm just wishing you so much love, so much peace, so much joy. Bye now.